What's up guys, Groovy Guitar Dude here with a beginner guitar tutorial for Fallin by Why Don't We. If this video helps you out, hit that like and subscribe button and let me know in the comments below what are the songs by Why Don't We that you want to learn on guitar. Guys, the first thing that you want to know to play Fallin on guitar is that we're going to be in standard tuning and we will not need a capo to play this song. The next thing that you want to know for Fallin is the structure of this song. We're going to start out with a verse, then go to pre-chorus, then chorus, then verse, pre-chorus, chorus again. Then we'll have a bridge, and then we're gonna go to one more pre-chorus, and then one last chorus to take us out of the song. And the last thing that you wanna know before we dive into Fallin is the 5 chords that we need to play this song. The first one is A minor. The next one is C. The next one is E minor. The next one is D. And the last one is F. And I'll have a beginner way to play that F chord, as well as chord charts for all the other chords in the pinned comment below for those of you who need them. And with all that in mind, guys, let's dive into Fallin. Man, this is a song that I've gotten so many requests for, and a lot of requests over a very long time. And I'm sorry this song took so long for me to get to you guys. It's just one of those that had slipped under my radar for a little while, but I just listened to it for the first time a couple days ago, and I was like, man, I totally see why you guys have requested this song so much and want to learn it. It's a cool song, it has some really cool guitar in it, and I'm stoked to share it with y'all. So the first thing that we're going to take a look at is the chord progression and strum pattern that we're playing for our verses. The chord progression that we're going to be using for our verses is this. We're going to start with an A minor, then we'll go to C, then F, then E minor. And that chord progression right there is just going to repeat through all of our verses. And you might be already able to tell, but what we're going to be doing for our strum pattern for our verses is just a single down strum, just like I just played it. So again, you guys know what single down strums look like, but with that single down strum pattern through that chord progression, it'll look something like this. We'll go down, 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 down. Just about like that, repeated through all of our verses. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, really cool, and matches up perfectly with the guitar that's being played in the verses on Fallin. So guys, again, you know what single down strums look like, but a couple of times through that chord progression and that single down strum pattern that's gonna repeat through all of our verses on Fallin will look about like this without me talking. And from there, guys, the next thing that you want to know to play Fallin on guitar is what we're playing for our pre-choruses. For our pre-choruses, we're going to have a very simple little chord progression and then a single down strum pattern again for this one. And this part, we actually are only going to play once for each pre-chorus. But first, let's take a look at this chord progression. So this chord progression is going to look pretty similar, but a little shorter. We're going to start with an A minor, and then we're going to go to C, and then we're going to go to D. And we're just going to let that D hang, and that's going to take us into our choruses, just like that. And it's just going to play, like I said, once through that chord progression with that single down strum pattern, the same kind of spacing and timing that we use for our verses. That's just going to play once for each pre-chorus. and it's going to take us into our chorus. So again, guys, this looks really similar to our verses. We're just switching up that chord progression just a little bit. And again, we don't repeat this like we did with our verse chord progression, but a little walk through what that'll look like just so you guys can see the timing of it is about like this. We'll go down, down, down. We'll hang out on this one just a little bit longer. And then it'll take us into our chorus right about at that time. But one more time, just so you can get the timing of it, we got down, 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 and into chorus, just about right there. So, guys, like I said, that's pretty straightforward, and we do just play through that once, but I am going to play through it a couple of times without me talking, just so you guys can make sure you got the timing of that down and play along with me. But a couple of times through that pre-chorus chord progression with that single down strum pattern will look about like this without me talking. And finally, guys, the last thing that you want to know to play Fallin on guitar is what we're playing for our choruses and for our bridge. Now, first, let's take a look at this chord progression. This chord progression we're going to be using for our choruses and our bridge is the same chord progression that we used for our verses. So, one more time through that is going to be A minor, C, F, and E minor. Repeated through all of our choruses and our bridge. What we're going to be changing up is our strum pattern. And this, guys, is my favorite part of the song. It's a lot of fun to play, and it totally gets into this kind of rockin' feel of this song. Because with those single down strums we learned so far, this probably seems pretty dull, but it's pretty mellow in the verses, in the pre-choruses, and then the choruses and the bridge is where it really picks up and is a lot of fun to play. So with that in mind, let's take a look at this strum pattern. The strum pattern that we're going to be using for each chord is going to be this. I'm going to use my A minor as an example here. We're going to go down, up, pretty quickly 8 times for each chord. So a little demo of that with the A minor will look about like this. We'll go down, up, 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 down, up. Just about like that for each chord. Now, you'll notice that there's a little PM next to that times 8 up there, and what that stands for is palm mute. If you don't know what palm muting is, all it is when you're strumming, taking this part of your hand right here and kind of resting it on the strings near the bridge. And what that does is that kind of muffles and mutes the notes just a little bit to give this a little bit more of a percussive sound. You don't have to do this. It's a little bit more of an intermediate level technique. I think it adds a lot to the song, totally adds to that kind of percussive feel because this is a very drum driven song. So any kind of percussiveness that you can add to this will add a lot to the song and make it sound a lot like the original version, especially if you're playing it just on an acoustic guitar. But you can either just stick with a down up times 8 for each chord if you want to, if you're a beginner, and keep it pretty simple, or if you want to add in that percussive palm muting like I am, you can totally do that. It adds quite a bit to the song, and it's pretty fun to play as well. So with that in mind, guys, a little walkthrough of what our chord progression with that strum pattern will look like is about like this. We'll start with our A minor again. We're gonna go down, up, 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 down, up. Just about like that. Whew, that was a mouthful. But that's about what it's going to look like. Again, I'm using that palm muting technique. That's why it sounds a little bit more muffled and a little bit more percussive. You don't have to do that. You can just strum it outright with just regular up and down strums. But it does add quite a bit if you add that palm muting technique in. It sounds really cool and very true to the song. So guys, with that in mind, a couple of times through that chorus chord progression with that chorus and bridge strum pattern will look about like this without me talking. And guys, that is everything that you need to know to play Fallin on guitar. As always, if you have any questions, you can hit me up in the comments down below. I'm usually pretty quick getting back to those. And again, if this video helped you out, hit that subscribe button. I have about 800 other guitar and ukulele lessons on this channel, and I usually try to post at least 3 to 5 new lessons every single week. So if you're learning guitar or ukulele, there could not be a more perfect channel for you to check out. If you want to see what songs I'm jamming on, where I'm traveling right now, or pictures of my dog, you can hit up my Instagram at @thegroovyguitardude. Link for that will be in the description below. And lastly, guys, if you want to support the channel and get your name in the credits at the end of each new guitar tutorial, you can hit up my Patreon at patreon.com/thegroovyguitardude. Link for that will be in the description below as well. Guys, Fallin is one of those songs that I've gotten so many requests for, and I'm sorry it's taken so long for me to get to this song. It's just one of those that kept kind of slipping under my radar, and then somebody would remind me of it, and I was like, I gotta get to Fallin. So I've gotten a ton of requests for this one, and it's a great song for beginner guitarists. Like I said, really the trickiest part of this song is that if you want to include that palm muting in that chorus part, it's gonna sound really good, it's gonna add to the percussiveness of this song, but you don't have to do that. If you're a beginner, don't worry too much about it, but it does sound really, really good. Other than that, this is a really beginner-friendly song, and it's a lot of fun to play. So, guys, I had a lot of fun learning this song. I hope you guys have a lot of fun learning it as well. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see y'all soon.